I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
And we're Bucket List Travellers.
And we're coming to you from Grenada in Nicaragua.
And in this video, we'll be talking to you about how a couple of Australians found themselves trapped in Central America in the middle of a global pandemic.
At the end of 2019, we decided to quit our jobs, sell most of our gear, pack what was remaining, and head off on a big adventure overseas for a full year in 2020.
We left our home in Sydney, and our first stop was Hawaii. From there we went to Canada and then started heading south, through the US, Mexico, and then the countries of Central America.
Back when we left home in November 2019, no one had ever heard about coronavirus. When we did finally hear about it in early 2020, we were keeping tabs on it, but we weren't overly concerned. We were more concerned about our friends and family back home in Australia in case the virus got to Australia. Being in Central America, we were thanking our lucky stars because we were as far away in the world from the virus as we could be, and even if it did come, it wouldn't be coming for a very long time.
Or so we thought. When we went to El Salvador in early Feb, they were starting to screen for coronavirus, with temperature checks and questions on where we'd been. We thought this was very proactive of them, especially since the virus was so far away. But little did we know how quickly it would spread all throughout the world.
Things were moving really fast, and by the middle of March, coronavirus had emerged in Central America, beginning with Costa Rica and then shortly followed by Panama. At the same time, our federal government issued a travel warning stating that all Aussies had to come home. So that put us in a real predicament, and we had a few tough decisions that we had to make fast.
So at that point, it looked like Australia was going to become one of the epicenters of the virus. And to get home from where we were would have taken 3 flights, 40 hours, and we would have had to go through the US twice, which was a big risk in itself. So it seemed like in order to get home, we would be putting ourselves at great risk of getting the virus.
So in addition to that, we also had the risk of flights being cancelled and us being stuck in another country as well. And also back home in Australia, we actually didn't have any home to go back to, so that made things tougher as well.
But we had to balance that against being in a foreign country where we don't speak the language, we don't know anyone, we don't know what the political response to the pandemic's going to be, and the medical system isn't as strong as it is at home.
And we also finally considered our chances of contracting coronavirus and what would happen if that was the case. Given our age, we thought that we had a relatively small chance of being hospitalised. So with that and everything else to consider, we made the decision to stay in Nicaragua and ride out the pandemic here.
Our decision became a lot easier once we found this beautiful villa, which we've been locking down in for the last 3 months.
If you're interested about hearing more about our experience in Nicaragua, we will make another video about it, so please subscribe to our channel. We are the Bucket List Travellers, signing off for now. See you next time.
See you next time.